Around this time of year, a lot of our kids kind of get stuck in school. They're tired, they shut down. So I encourage you to check out IXL to jumpstart your child's love for learning at ixl.com/Kirk. IXL is an online learning program that can be used by any student from K to 12, whether they're struggling in a particular subject or if you're homeschooling. IXL uses engaging video tutorials and positive learning games that teach your kids the way your kids learn best and to give your kids control over how they learn and what they learn about, because your kids can explore any topic in any grade level. And our kids thrive on positive feedback, and IXL consistently reinforces success. Make an impact on your child's learning. Get IXL now. Calm Parenting Podcast listeners get an exclusive 20% off an IXL membership when you sign up today at ixl.com/Kirk. So visit ixl.com/Kirk to get the most effective learning program at the best price. Hey, moms and dads, when you're tired, it's easy to be reactive and be agitated by your kids. So prioritize yourself and sleep better with Cozy Earth's ultra soft, temperature regulating sheets and PJs. Look, we wrap ourselves in Cozy Earth 24/7. Make sure you use our special code for 40% off. These Cozy Earth bamboo sheets make a huge difference for us. These are the softest, coolest, most luxurious sheets you will ever own. We fall asleep quicker, we stay in that deeper sleep, and we just feel more refreshed in the morning. We've also noticed, look, at night, when we change into our Cozy Earth pajamas and just casual wear, it kind of invites us to settle into sleep mode. And it's risk-free. Take 100 nights to decide with the Cozy Earth sleep trial. And every Cozy Earth bedding product comes with a 10-year warranty. Visit CozyEarth.com/Calm and use my exclusive code CALM for 40% off best-selling sheets, towels, pajamas, and more. And let Cozy Earth know you heard it from us. That's CozyEarth.com/Calm with the code CALM for 40% off. I wanted to record a special podcast so that both teenagers and parents know exactly what anxiety feels like, because anxiety is a big deal. It's something that I have wrestled with my entire life, that our son wrestled with, and most of the kids and parents that we work with struggle with anxiety. And what I really want you to know is this: anxiety is normal and healthy. See, anxiety is caused by unknowns, things you can't control, and that makes everyone anxious or nervous, and it makes everyone want to control people or situations around them. And so if you're a middle schooler or a high schooler, of course you're anxious. It would be weird if you weren't anxious. It's the hardest part of your life, right? You're caught in between being a little kid and a young adult. Your hormones are changing daily. The social scene is pretty much fake, and it's unlike it will ever be the rest of your adult life, right? You almost have no control over your life. You're told what school to go to, what classes to take, what to eat every day, and you have very little control over that. So, of course you feel anxious. Of course it feels like something inside of you just feels a little bit off, and it kind of just annoys you, and it's unnerving, and you can't always put a name to it. You can't always tell exactly what it feels like. But sometimes it makes you want to withdraw a little bit, to stay home, because that feels more safe. It feels easier, and that's normal. So let's say you are in middle school or high school. Here's what a day may feel like, right? And it could be, I'm going to put it in your terms, because this is what I felt like even in middle school. I missed a lot of school in middle school, and what I didn't realize at the time is, because back then we didn't know these things, I didn't realize it was just anxiety, right? So here's what it feels like. I don't always sleep well because my body and my hormones are on a different natural clock than the artificial school schedule, and I stay up late. Why? Because that's when my house, meaning my parents, and the world get quiet, and that allows me to think without all the noise. I also stay up late thinking situations over in my mind and running different scenarios out, and sometimes I don't sleep that well because I'm anxious, thinking about all these things that I can't control. And when I wake up, I'm not all that excited to go to school. And here's some of the reasons. I don't like school. I may struggle in school. It's not because I'm dumb, but I genuinely struggle trying to focus or be interested in something I really don't have an interest in. By the way, that's the way the brain is supposed to work. Your brain, you're curious about things that you're interested in, right? On the weekends, parents, you don't pick up books and watch documentaries about subjects you don't care about, right? It's the way the brain is supposed to work, right? But here's what I also know. If I'm interested in something and curious about it, I can actually hyper-focus and remember everything. And I get anxiety about tests because I struggle with memorizing facts. See, I'm really good at strategic thinking. I'm good at seeing patterns in things. But short-term memory really trips me up. By the way, middle schoolers, high schoolers, here's what I want you to know. In school, you are required to have good short-term memory because you have to memorize information for tests and then sometimes forget it, right? But in the real world, when you're an adult, you will get paid to have really good strategic thinking. And I promise you, I know you're really good strategic thinkers. That's partly why you're good at pushing people's buttons and arguing with your parents, because you're a good thinker. And that's what we want in the real world. But sometimes in school, it makes taking tests harder. Now, if I have dysgraphia, means I have trouble with fine motor skills, right? That makes writing really hard. Or if I have dyslexia, then I will feel really frustrated, right? Because it's like I have to work 5 times harder than everyone else in class. And to be honest, by midday, I am mentally and emotionally tapped out. So Mrs. Calm told me yesterday, I wish I had begun drinking AG1 sooner. My stomach has felt so much calmer and I'm more regular. My AG1 in the morning provides some consistency I really crave. And that's one reason I love my AG1. It's an easy, healthy daily routine. No messes, no blenders. We put 1 scoop of AG1 into a bottle of water, shake it up, and start our day with 75 vitamins, probiotics, prebiotics, and whole food sourced ingredients. Check out a special offer at drinkag1.com/calm. Look, I've got more energy, better mental clarity, and AG1 supports my immune health. And that's why I've been partnering with AG1 for so long. Be an AG1 couple like us. AG1 is offering new subscribers a free $76 gift when you sign up. You'll get a welcome kit, a bottle of D3 and K2, and 5 free travel packs in your first box. So check out drinkag1.com/calm to get this offer. That's drinkag1.com/calm to start your day with a win. Sometimes for people like us, school just isn't our thing. And look, if my parents are successful or I have a sibling who's really good in school, then it feels like I'll never be able to live up to their expectations. So why even bother, right? It's like it's never good enough. And I don't really value grades that much. So sometimes I just shut down and don't even try that hard, right? But if you put me in adult situations outside of school, sometimes I feel right at home. I crush it then. It's partly because I usually connect better with adults or with little kids and animals. But see, I struggle to connect with the other kids in my class. I just kind of find them boring. And I'm not a joiner. I don't like doing the popular things just because they're popular. And that leaves me feeling left out sometimes, even though I've kind of chosen that. Right? It's not like I get bullied or anything, but I'm just not on the same page as my classmates. I don't want to do what everybody else is doing. So I may walk into a cafeteria or homeroom, and no one's mean or anything. It's just that they're all talking and laughing with each other, and I feel left out. I'm sitting with them, but I'm not part of them, right? And that's stressful, right? That feels awkward as a teenager, right? Because the most important thing for you as a teenager is social life, right? And walking through the halls can be a little overwhelming. It's chaotic and loud, and the ringing bells and the horseplay throw me off. And I'm sensitive at times. And see, that's a double-edged sword. It's good because I feel things deeply. And usually, side note, if you feel things deeply, usually you're a very creative person, right? And so you will feel empathy for outcasts, for hurting people, for hurting animals. But it also means I feel slights more deeply, right? I take things more personally. I may sense if a teacher doesn't really like me. And so that hurts or it causes me to shut down to protect myself. So look, when I wake up in the morning, all I can think about is this: how hard school's going to be, how no one really understands that and just thinks that I'm not trying, and how I'm going to feel different all day from my classmates and eventually feel overwhelmed and anxious. And sometimes my stomach is upset, so I don't always feel like eating, and that anxiety wants me to stay home where I feel safe and comfortable, right? So if you feel like that, what I want you to know is you're perfectly normal. There's nothing wrong with that. And for the parents, think about it this way. Imagine someone else signed you up and made you go to a job for 12 straight years that you didn't really like, that you weren't always really good at, and you had to work with people you didn't really like a lot. And every day you've got a different boss telling you what to do throughout the day. And every year those bosses change. And so they all have different expectations and different personalities. See, right now, as an adult, you can change your job. You can change your industry. You can get a new boss if you want. But when you're a kid and you're in school, you can't do this. So it is hard, and it does cause anxiety, and that's normal. And so for the middle school and high school kids out there, if you're feeling anxious, nervous about things, it's perfectly normal. Don't beat yourself up for it. Don't think that you're weird. It would be weird if you didn't feel anxious. What we really need to do is discover how to handle that anxiety in healthy ways, right? Because I've struggled with anxiety for 57 years. What I've learned is how to normalize that anxiety, how to overcome that anxiety, and to work with it and work with my natural wiring. And that's what my son has learned how to do, right? So you can email us, right? Email our son, Casey, C-A-S-E-Y, at celebratecalm.com with any questions you have, or if there's circumstances you struggle with. And we'll try to email back with specific practical ways to help with anxiety. In the meantime, middle schoolers, high schoolers, you've got a great future ahead of you. You're going to crush it in the real world when it counts. I promise you, life gets easier after the teenage years. So if we can help in any way, reach out to us and let us know. But everything's going to be okay. Love you all. Talk to you soon. Bye-bye.